Welcome back. Ron Paul using something as fake as Bigfoot to push for real spending cuts. And you know what? Watch for this very special cameo in Ron Paul's brand new ad that attacks Rick Santorum's spending record in Washington.
Is this dude serious? Fiscal conservative? Really? Santorum voted to raise the debt ceiling 5 times, doubled the size of the Department of Education, then supported the biggest entitlement expansion since the 60s. Not Ruby. Santorum voted to send billions of our tax dollars to dictators in North Korea and Egypt, and even hooked Planned Parenthood up with a few $1 million. Rick Santorum, a fiscal conservative? Fake.
I'm Ron Paul, and I approve this message.
Ron Paul approving Bigfoot, highlighting Rick Santorum's big spending record. And we've got St. Louis Tea Party co-founder Gina Loudon, and she says, you know what? It's the fiscal issues in this ad that should be center stage in this election, not the social issues. So, Gina, take it away. What did you make of this ad?
Well, I thought, I looked at it like most of middle America probably looked at this, Liz. You have Ron Paul trying to say that Rick Santorum isn't conservative. That doesn't even pass the smell test in my book. You look at Ron Paul, who, for all of his talk about government reform and the drastic things he's going to do to decrease the size of government, all of his decades in his office now, and he hasn't passed one single bill to that effect.
Wait, Gina, hang on a second. But Ron, here's the deal. Rick Santorum has been a big D.C. spender. He's basically even supported spending for, the bridge to nowhere at a time when he didn't want spending to go to help out Katrina. And he's been a big advocate of pork barrel spending and all sorts of spending measures. And in fact, when he was basically criticized by the Tea Party for that, Rick Santorum went after this Tea Party and said, you know what, they don't understand the Constitution. They're a little bit off here. What do you make of that?
I think this was the initial hesitation, Liz, of Tea Partiers to get behind Rick Santorum, but I believe they've reconciled. This messenger here is the 4th largest earmarker in Congress, who again talks about the financial reform that he wants to do as president, when you can't do that as president without the authorization of Congress and the Senate. But what Americans do understand is his foreign policy is frightening, and that he can do day one in office with the swipe of a pen.
All right, but Gina,
that's what scares middle Americans.
I hear what you're saying, but Rick Santorum is acting just like the other big spenders in Washington. That is, you know what, you have the audacity to question us. Just as the Tea Party has been attacked too and criticized, you Tea Partiers have the audacity to criticize or try to question and basically interrupt the decorum of town hall meetings of the questions about big spendings that the Tea Party really was founded on. I mean, and so you're saying essentially that both Ron Paul and Rick Santorum should be criticized. Is that it? Because, I'll tell you something, pork barrel spending is just gateway, spending. It's like a gateway drug to even bigger appropriations bills. Ron Paul has said that. I didn't hear that from Rick Santorum.
I think there's a primary difference between Ron Paul and Rick Santorum. Number one, that Rick Santorum's not the one attacking other conservatives. I think conservatives should note that. But
really?
More importantly than that, Rick Santorum has...
Wait a minute. He's not attacking other conservatives? Really? He's not attacking Newt Gingrich. He's not attacking Mitt Romney. He's not attacking Ron Paul. Really?
We're not seeing attack ads like this. And Mitt Romney, I wouldn't fit in the category of conservative. I'm sorry, I'm a Tea Partier, and I just don't go there. But I will say this. Rick Santorum has told us he will be accountable to the people. He has admitted, Liz, that he made mistakes in the past. He said, I wish I hadn't voted for certain things I have voted for. He's been very transparent, very authentic. I think he's speaking to the moms in middle America.
Okay, so you still think, though, that fiscal issues should be front and center, right? Quickly.
I think the fiscal issues are paramount. However, I also think that we have to have the fiscal issues in place if we want the rest of our freedoms in our Constitution to be sure.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I really appreciate it.
Liz.
Next up, get ready for your